morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm at Waterloo Station, waiting for my train at 10 o'clock to Portsmouth. It's the 12th of July, and I'm heading down to Portsmouth and then Gosport Premier Marina to join my sailing boat for crewing. Hello, just arrived in Portsmouth Historic Dockyard. And I'm waiting for the ferry over to Gosport. So this is the boat. It's a 40-foot Bavaria Ocean, and it's everything is controlled from the cockpit, which is great. It's got solar panels. It's got wind generator, it's got a gas powered generator, it's got water maker, new safety equipment, new tender with a new motor. This will be my home for the next 3 weeks. Just spent the night, I've done a lot of provisioning, and I'm just going to take a walk over to some of the other boats in the marina, because that sailboat on the end of that on that finger is actually from Victoria. So almost directly across from our slip we have this boat, which just noticed it today. We were testing out the dinghy, and we just motored past, and I saw the name, and I was kind of shocked to see that, the Marionette 2 from Victoria, BC, Canada. It'd be really interesting to talk to them. Yeah, and we're just right over there. Okay.
Okay, are we ready, Jim?
We're ready to
do a 360 so viewers know where we are.
Sure. So this is the renaming ceremony for the Halo Moon. The Halo Moon. This skipper here, Greg, is it's a recent purchase for him, and it's been completely refit, so it's fitting to have a brand new name. And this is how it's done.
So we call upon the gods of the sea, Neptune and Poseidon, to favour this vessel with their blessing. We offer thanks to the God for the protection of this vessel in the past, and we make a toast to Boney M, as she was known before, and before that's Sirius. We request these nautical gods erase all record of the previous boat names on this vessel. All appearances of the boat name are removed. And now we place an offering east to west into the sea. Rededicate this vessel with the new name, the Halo Moon, sorry. Now we must share the wine amongst us. By completing this renaming, the christening ceremony, this newly named boat, Halo Moon, pleases the nautical gods, and once again is protected by the waters. Long live Halo Moon. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Good.
Okay, we're underway. We're on our way to Cartagena. To 12, 14 days, maybe more. This is one of the forts just outside of Gosport and Portsmouth. And we've just filled up with fuel. And we're sailing under motor until we get out of the harbor area and the traffic. And that's the shot behind. Here's me face. So this is our second day out from Portsmouth, Gosport rather, and we've been motoring for the better part of 2 days, crossing the channel. You can see on the chart plotter here where we are. So now we're heading directly to France. So we were paralleling the coastline of the English Channel on motor, but now we're actually sailing. it's pretty sweet. Nobody around, except in the distance. Hello. So, the sun just set. We're on our way to France. It's 8 o'clock. And we're on a starboard tack. We'll be holding this position for a couple of hours, and then we'll be tacking so we can make it into the Bay of Biscay. We're in the French shipping lanes at the moment, so we're closely monitoring that. It's kind of interesting doing the watch. This is the first time in the evening I found a watch. It's kind of peaceful. I like it. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It's July 18th, and it's the morning shift. And I was starting out my shift. We're in the middle of the English Channel. Now we're parallel to France, heading west. So I'm partway through my shift on July 18th. We're making 5.5 knots, mid-channel, heading towards Brest in France, and then after that, later on today, much later on today, we'll be making our turn into Biscay. So this is Falmouth Harbor.
Yep.
Had a little trouble last night, so we spent the night here. And more later though. So we had some trouble, like I mentioned earlier. We had some trouble when we were in the channel, just outside of Falmouth Harbor. We'd been motoring the better part of 2 days in pretty heavy winds and weather and waves, and it had taken its toll on this boat, Halo Moon. A couple of things we had to get fixed that were small, but the main thing was this. Shackle broke on that first spreader, so just where the flags are. It should be another line leading up to the spreader above, and it became disconnected and wrapped around the mast just above the radar. So now we're just waiting for a rigger. It's July 19th today, so we're falling behind schedule, and we're going to be here until that gets fixed. We don't have an ETA yet, so we'll be waiting here, and then we'll see. In the meantime, it's pretty sweet, pretty nice place. This is one of many marinas in Falmouth. We came in last night in the dark, and we had to stop at a fuel dock, spend the night there, and then they moved us to this more permanent berth here. But apparently there's some really beautiful yachts around here. Here's the rest of this marina. Candelas Marina. It's also a cruise ship dock. Wow, look at this. Falmouth. Whoop. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. We're off again. We're leaving Falmouth. We just filled up the water tank. Got a nice sunny day, clear skies, calm seas, very light winds. So we'll be on the motor today, probably doing about 6 knots, and we'll see how far we get. We'll get back on our original course and start ticking off the sea miles. This is mouth of Falmouth Harbor here. And I'm going to go back in now and we'll see how it goes. Bye for now. So this is Shag Rock Lighthouse. This is the mouth of the River Fowl, and we're starting to make our turn to our first waypoint that will take us towards the Bay of Biscay. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I'm sitting at the dolphin seat on the Halo Moon. We just crossed from the channel into the Atlantic Ocean, and we're heading towards the Bay of Biscay and beyond. But this is really cool. It's calm, and we've got moderate winds. I guess they're around 8 knots of wind. We're doing about 4.5 knots sailing speed here, and we're now heading up to sea. How cool is that? And here's me face. But wow, what an experience. There's no words. This is quite a bit different than the first 2.5 days where we were being pounded the whole time, constantly, and which caused the damage to the rigging. Everything's been checked out. There's a rigger that came yesterday and checked all the rigging, and we did some repairs that had also resulted in from our 2 days of pounding. But now it's smooth sailing, so it's Thursday afternoon. I'll be going on watch a little later. Right now it's about 4 o'clock, Thursday afternoon, July 20th, I believe, possibly 19th. But yeah, we're all in pretty good. The sun is shining, the winds are perfect. We're sailing, I guess it's a close reach or a mean reach. So it's going to be well sustained for a while. And then things should change coming into Saturday, so we're going to have high winds and rain. So we'll be putting on the rain gear. But for now, we're just enjoying the moment, which is the best you can do. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. So, we've officially entered the Bay of Biscay. It's quite reasonable, really. 14 knots of wind. We're on a beam with a broad reach. And the seas are pretty reasonable. So, we're expecting weather to be like pretty much like this the rest of today, just Friday. July 21st. And then same Saturday, I believe, and then on Sunday, we should start to encounter some higher winds, up to 20 knots, and rain and bigger swells. So hopefully we'll be at least close to Corunna, which is pretty much the end of the Bay of Biscay. And we'll take it from there. So yeah, it's pretty beautiful out here. Just sunrise was a couple hours ago. Peeled over about 15 degrees. And I've heard there's some dolphins out here somewhere, so I'm gonna have a look for those. It is July the 21st. This is the first shift of the evening, 7 to 11, and we are in the Bay of Biscay. We're making good time because we're about a third of the way into it, so we're well on our way, which is great. No shipping, it's just peaceful. We're on a beam, a broad reach. We're doing about 4 knots. And we're heading towards our waypoint, which is right beside Corunna in Spain, which is actually the end of the Bay of Biscay. So we're looking at another 200 miles, so 2 more days. We should be there. We're expecting some weather to come up, maybe later in the next shift. So we might be reefing, and we'll see. Okay, bye for now. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We are halfway across the Bay of Biscay. This is July the 22nd, Saturday. It's 9 o'clock, 9:30 actually. So we've got some wind. We're gusting up to 20 knots of wind. We've got the sails all reefed. And we're on the motor doing 6 knots. Making good time. A little bit bumpy, not too bad. Afternoon, good evening. It's Sunday, July 23rd, and we're just coming out of Bay of Biscay. rough. Yesterday and last night was pretty intense. I wasn't filming because there was just too much going on. But suffice to say, there was heavy seas, high winds, and it was quite a challenge. So right now we got the sun come out, and it's looking quite a bit better. We've got pretty much full sail right now, about 15 knots of wind. So we should be clear tonight, and then we'll be going down by the coast of Portugal towards Gibraltar. Hello. So this is Sunday the 23rd of July. It's the first shift of the evening. Started at 7, go till 11. Just ending the Bay of Biscay. It's my watch, so I'm keeping track of the shipping and the point of sale and the course over ground, so that we hit our next waypoint, which should be just off the coast of Spain, at Coruña. And then we're going due south from there, all along the coast of Portugal, and then onward into Gibraltar. Oh, we got the sun out, which is lovely to see. Nothing like sailing on the Atlantic. The sun going down all alone really focuses the mind. We're doing about 5.5 knots. We have a reef in the main, and we've got a half the jib out, or the genoa out. It's blowing 15 to 20 knots. But it's a pretty reasonable sea. There's swells, but they're not huge. Not like last night. Last night was pretty intense. We were in deep into the Bay of Biscay, so it was big swells, big winds, big waves. We were motor sailing because it was we had our sails reduced down to scrap just to be safe, and we were really working this boat. It's 10 o'clock on Sunday, the 21st of July. It's the last hour of my watch. We're just about to hit our waypoint that marks the beginning of our run down the coast of Portugal. It's pretty nice, actually, right now. It's around 15 to 20 knots of wind, and the sea is pretty good. We don't have a lot of big swells. We have a reef in the main, and we have a reef in the Hello again. This is A Coruña, or A Coruña. It's in the Galician coast, just past the Bay of Biscay. It's traditionally a spot where people do stop, but that wasn't our plan originally. plan was to continue. However, while we were sailing, we'd gotten quite a bit further than this actually. Further down south, probably another 100 odd nautical miles from here. And then we had some more trouble. So first, after our experience with the fruit basket on the hanging from the davit at the back, that had been swinging back and forth so hard that the fruit got smashed into the backstay. So that was all tossed, but really we didn't know at the time, but it had put extra strain on the tender davit. And while we were sailing just past the bay, we noticed the damage. So there was a couple of screws had come out holding up the corner of the davit, and also there's the wind generator that's sitting up there too. But all that structure had weakened, and it was precariously close to basically falling down. So the captain lashed it all down, and but also at the same time he discovered that his water maker was malfunctioning, and it was basically filling up his bilge with fresh water. So he was making water, and he'd probably been making water for a few hours, and he went to check the oil, and that's when he discovered a lot of water in the bilge. So it was at that time he decided to call it. This was the second forced stop, and he was really rushing it to try and get down to Cartagena. But at the end of the day, all that rushing, it was just over-ambitious, and it was with the stops, it basically meant that he wouldn't be able to meet his deadline to get down there, and then because he had plans to fly back to England on a certain date, and he wasn't going to make it. So that's when he called it. We ended up coming into Muros, a small port on the Galician coast. Spent the night there, and then me and the other crew member, we took the train up to Santiago de Compostela. I spent the night there last night, and I took the train over here to Coruña to do some sightseeing. I've changed my flight, so I'll get home a little quicker. I'll be a week earlier, and we'll see how things go from there. Dealing with some problems at home, so let's I'll leave that for another time. But for now, I'm just taking it easy and hang out, have a coffee, maybe a beer or three, and make plans for tomorrow. All right, see you then. Bye.
Merci beaucoup.